Welcome to our podcast, and this week at London Visited we look at the role of Mayor of London. My name is Steve, and each week I'll bring to you the facts, history and information about different parts or connections to this great capital. If you've been to London, are planning on visiting, live here or just love London from afar, then this is the podcast for you. Also, don't forget our YouTube channel, London Visited, to see videos covering so many places across London. And now to this week's podcast. The Mayor of London is the head of the executive of the Greater London Authority. The role was created in 2000 after the London devolution referendum in 1998 and was the first directly elected mayor in the United Kingdom. The current mayor is Sadiq Khan, who took office on the 9th of May 2016. The position was held by Ken Livingstone from the creation of the role on the 4th of May 2000 until he was defeated in May 2008 by Boris Johnson, who then also served 2 terms before being succeeded by Khan. The Mayor is scrutinised by the London Assembly and, supported by the Mayoral Cabinet, directs the entirety of London, including the City of London, for which there is also a ceremonial Lord Mayor of the City of London. Each London borough also has a ceremonial mayor, or, in Hackney, Lewisham, Newham and Tower Hamlets, an elected mayor. The Greater London Council, the elected government for Greater London, was abolished in 1986 by the Local Government Act of 1985. Strategic functions were split off into various joint arrangements. Londoners voted in a referendum in 1998 to create a new governance structure for Greater London. The directly elected Mayor of London was created by the Greater London Authority Act of 1999 and in 2000 as part of the reforms. The Mayor is elected by the supplementary vote method for a fixed term of 4 years, with elections taking place in May. As with most elected posts in the UK, there is a deposit, in this case £10,000, which is returnable on the candidate's winning of at least 5% of the first choice votes. The most recent London mayoral election was held in May 2021, having been delayed from May 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. The results were announced in the evening of the 8th of May. Sadiq Khan was re-elected for a second term, beating the Conservative Sean Bailey in the second round. Most powers are derived from the Greater London Authority Act of 1999. The Mayor's main functions are the strategic planning, including housing, waste management, the environment and production of the London Plan, refuse or permit planning permission on strategic grounds, transport policy delivered by the functional body Transport for London, fire and emergency planning delivered by the functional body London Fire and Emergency Planning Authority, policing and crime policy delivered by the functional body the Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime. The Metropolitan Police has a structure different to most others across the country, reporting to the Mayor of London instead of a Police and Crime Commissioner. Economic development, delivered directly by the Greater London Authority, through a subsidiary company. Power to create development corporations, such as the London Legacy Development Corporation. The remaining local government functions are performed by the London Borough Councils. There is some overlap. For example, the Borough Councils are responsible for waste management, but the Mayor is required to produce a waste management strategy. In 2010, Johnson launched an initiative in partnership with the Multi-Academy Trust to transform schools across London. This led to the establishment of London Academies Enterprise Trust, which was intended to be a group of 10 academies, but it only reached a group of 4 before the Mayor withdrew in 2013. Ken Livingstone. Initiatives taken by Ken Livingstone as Mayor of London included the London Congestion Charge on private vehicles using city centre London on weekdays, the creation of the London Climate Change Agency, the London Energy Partnership and the founding of the International Large Cities Climate Leadership Group, now known as the C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group. The congestion charge led to many new buses being introduced across London. In August 2003, Livingstone oversaw the introduction of the Oyster Card electronic ticketing system for Transport for London services. Livingstone supported the withdrawal of the vintage Routemaster buses from regular service in London. Livingstone introduced the London Partnerships Register, which was a voluntary scheme without legal force for same-sex couples to register their partnership, and paved the way for the introduction in the UK of the civil partnerships and still later same-sex marriage. Unlike civil partnerships, the London Partnerships Register was open to heterosexual couples who favour a public commitment other than a marriage. As Mayor of London, Ken Livingstone was a supporter of the London Olympics in 2012, ultimately winning the bid to host the Games in 2005. Livingstone encouraged sport in London, especially when the sport could be combined with helping charities like the London Marathon and the 10K charity races. Livingston, in a mayoral election debate on the BBC's Question Time in April 2008, stated that the primary reason he supported the Olympic bid was to secure funding for the redevelopment of the East End of London. In 2007, he brought the Tour de France cycle race to London. Boris Johnson. In May 2008, Boris Johnson introduced a new transport safety initiative to put 440 high-visibility police officers in and around bus stations. A ban on alcohol on underground, bus, Docklands Light Railway and tram services and stations across the capital was introduced. Also, in May 2008, he announced the closure of the Londoner newspaper, saving approximately £2.9 million. A percentage of this saving was to be spent on planting 10,000 new street trees. In 2010, he extended the coverage of the Oyster card electronic ticketing to all national rail and overground train services. Also in 2010, he opened a cycle hire system, originally sponsored by Barclays, now Santander, with 5,000 bicycles available for hire across London. Although initiated by his predecessor, Ken Livingstone, the scheme rapidly acquired the nickname of Boris Bikes. Johnson withdrew the recently introduced high-speed, high-capacity bendy buses from service in 2011, which had been bought by Livingstone, and instead he supported the development of the new Routemaster, which entered service the next year. In 2011, Boris Johnson set up the Outer London Fund of £50 million, designed to help facilitate improved local high streets. Areas in London were given the chance to submit proposals for 2 tranches of funding. Successful bids for Phase 1 included Enfield, Muswell Hill and Bexley Town Centre. In January 2013, he appointed journalist Andrew Gilligan as the first cycling commissioner for London. In March 2013, Johnson announced £1 billion of investment in infrastructure to make cycling safer in London, including a 15-mile east-to-west segregated crossrail for bikes. At the general election of the 7th of May 2015, Johnson was elected MP for Uxbridge and Ruislip South. He continued to serve as mayor until the mayoral election in May 2016, when Sadiq Khan was elected. Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan introduced the bus hopper fare on TfL buses, which allows passengers to board a second bus within 1 hour for the same fare. Under Khan, paper and coin cash transactions became obsolete, and the Oyster system was expanded to include debit and credit cards. This initiative was started under his predecessor Johnson. Upon election, Khan outlined a vision to make London the greenest city by investing in walking and cycling infrastructure, while reducing polluting vehicles. In 2019, the Ultra Low Emission Zone scheme was launched, which taxes highly polluting vehicles in its covered territory. London declared itself the world's first national park city, effective from July 2019, reflecting its unusually high amount of green space for a city of its size. The government postponed all elections due in May 2020, including for the Mayor of London, for 1 year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Khan had therefore served a term in office of 5 years rather than 4, which ended in May 2021. So, I hope you've enjoyed our look at the role of Mayor of London, a role that is globally known, thanks to one of the previous mayors, who's now our Prime Minister. Whatever podcast service you use to listen to this, please do subscribe to get updates on new shows, and also leave us some feedback. Also, please let us know any places you'd like us to feature on future podcasts, and you can let us know through our website, www.londonvisited.co.uk, by emailing me directly on londonvisited@gmail.com, or contacting us on Twitter and Instagram on @LondonVisited, or Facebook on @TheLondonVisited. Thanks for listening. Really hope you enjoyed our podcast, and we'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.